Kampil, a small village which is situated in the Farrukhabad district of Uttar Pradesh state, was known as Kampil, the capital of a kingdom called Panchal in the Mahabharata era. Kampil, which has been erased from the memory of the mankind, is actually a very important place from historical and mythological point of view.
जागो जागो आज सवेरा सोने को आया है। परम पिता शिव ने मानव को फिर से आज जगाया है। जागो जागो आज सवेरा सोने को आया है।
5,000 years old village Kampil, which has been forgotten by the mankind, is once again awakening the mankind from the slumber of ignorance. In the Vedic age, India was divided into 16 Mahajanapadas or states, in which Panchal occupied an important place. It is believed that Pandavas had taken shelter in this village after escaping from the fire mishap of Lakshagra, which was plotted by their cousins Kauravas to kill them. Their famous wife Draupadi was born as the daughter of Drupad, the king of Kampilya town of Panchal. The position of Kampil among all the pilgrimage centers is like that of a nephew. In spite of being very important from the historical and mythological point of view, life in Kampil is primarily based on agriculture. Green fields can be seen everywhere around the village. The remains of a dilapidated fort situated in Kampil remind us of its glorious history. Today, just the remains of the brick walls can be seen at the site of the fort. Chinese tourist Fa Hien had once visited Kampil. It is believed that Chinese explorer Huan Sang had also visited Panchal in the 7th century. Huan Sang had noted in his travelogue that he had visited Panchal, and he wrote these lines sitting on the steps of famous Shiva temple called Rameshwara temple. He wrote, I have come to know that this is an ancient temple and it was constructed by Shatrugn, brother of Rama, the king of Ayodhya. This temple is situated on a muddy road at the periphery of the village. It is famous that Sri Ram's brother Shatrugn had installed a Shivlinga during his victory tour in connection with the Ashwamedh Yagya, which is a function organized by any king to prove himself the greatest king on the land. The road on which the Rameshwara temple is situated leads to the river Ganga, which flows about 5 kilometers away from the village. But the surprising fact is that a few decades back, river Ganga used to flow at the backyard of the Rameshwara temple. The river changed its course due to many natural phenomena and turned away from the temple. A small drain still flows on the original course of the river Ganga, which is called the Budi Ganga or Old Ganga. In the monsoon days, sometimes river Ganga overflows and reaches up to the Rameshwar temple, situated 5 kilometers away. Farmers can be seen working in the tobacco fields between the temple and the old river Ganga. The scene of sunrise from the Rameshwara temple is very magnificent. The sunrise seen from the pure and serene atmosphere of Rameshwara temple in the background of lush green fields and an Indian village fills up anybody's mind with infinite peace and devotion and makes someone forget the mechanical life of the concrete jungles of modern cities.
सुबह सुबह ले शिव का नाम कर ले बंदे ये शुभ काम। सुबह सुबह ले शिव का नाम कर ले बंदे ये शुभ काम। सुबह सुबह ले शिव का नाम शिव आएंगे तेरे काम। सुबह सुबह ले शिव का नाम कर ले बंदे ये शुभ काम।
The residents of Kampil are very religious. They can be seen worshipping with devotion. This temple is an exact memorial of the Supreme Father and Supreme Soul Shiva, who is the father of all the souls. The Shivlinga is a memorial of the incorporeal Supreme Father Shiva. The incorporeal Supreme Soul Shiva enters into a human being to transform the world. The flowers of ak, bay leaves and the water that is offered to the Shivlinga represent the sinful souls who are transformed from thorns to flowers through Raj Yoga meditation and knowledge being taught by the Supreme Father Shiva. देवों के हित विष पी डाला नीलकंठ को कोटि प्रणाम। नीलकंठ को कोटि प्रणाम। सुबह सुबह ले शिव का नाम शिव आएंगे। The worshippers offer water, flowers, leaves, etc. to the Shivling, but as soon as the process of worshipping is over, the crows and monkeys, which can be seen in every corner of this village, devour the offerings of the devotees. A visitor to the Rameshwar temple cannot miss the sight of another temple because it is not any ordinary temple but an octagonal 11-story temple. This temple will be like the Bharat Mata temple of Haridwar. A saint from Haridwar itself has collected funds for this construction from the disciples at his lectures. This temple, which is called Gita Gyan Ashram, is dedicated to Sri Krishna. The saint overseeing this construction work informed that the expenditure on the doors of the temple at the ground floor itself was about 2 or 3 lakh rupees. The temple, situated at the ground floor, which is ready, gives a glimpse of the final form of this 11-story temple. The idols of Sri Krishna and Sri Radha installed in the temple are magnificent. There is a proposal to install many more idols of Sri Krishna in the various floors of the temple. Many beautiful pictures related to the life of Sri Krishna have been displayed on the inner and outer walls of the temple. One can catch a bird's eye view of the entire village from the topmost floor of the temple. There is a mound in front of this 11-story temple, atop which is situated a room-like temple in which a Shivlinga is installed. The temple is called Sage Kapil's Hermitage. Sage Kapil is believed to have been the propounder of a type of yoga called Sankhya Yoga. He was born here and he had performed penance here only. Having been established by Sage Kapil, this place is famous as Kampilya town since ancient time. There is a Yagya Kund or sacrificial altar near the hermitage of Sage Kapil, which is believed to be the Draupadi Kund or the birthplace of Draupadi, the wife of Pandavas of the Mahabharata era. It is believed that Drupad, the king of Panchal, had organized a yagya or sacrificial altar to obtain a son. Pleased with his yagya, the deity of yagya produced from the sacrificial altar a son and a daughter for King Drupad. Son's name was Drishtidyum, and along with him emerged his sister Draupadi, who was rich in beauty and who later became the reason for the epic Mahabharata war. Nowadays, this Yagya Kund or tank is normally filled with water in which the local boys swim. But this water is not fit for drinking. There is an ancient bathing ghat near the old river Ganga, which was built by a Muslim ruler Balban and which is in a dilapidated condition today. It reminds us of the attacks of Muslim rulers on Kampil and the resistance offered by the kings of Kampil. In its remains, separate sections can be seen for the ladies to change their clothes. Near the old river Ganga itself is located another temple which is known as Kaleshwarnath Temple. It is believed that Draupadi and Yudhishthir of Mahabharata epic had installed the Shivlinga of this temple. Many centuries old idols could be seen in the temple premises. There is a story famous regarding this temple that during the rule of the Britishers, the officer in charge of the area had ordered the digging up of the Shivlinga installed in it and bringing it to the ground level. But when they started digging up, they were surprised to find that the Shivlinga was an extension of a huge underground rock, the end of which could not be located, and hence the campaign was stopped. The present temple is a reconstructed form of the original temple.
त्रिदलं त्रिगुणाकारं त्रिनेत्रं च त्रियायुधं त्रिजन्म पापसंहारम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् त्रिशाखैः बिल्वपत्रैश्च अच्छिद्रैः कोमलैः शुभैः तव पूजां करिष्यामि एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् कोटिकन्या महादानं तिलपर्वतकोटयः काञ्चनं शैलदानेन एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् काशीक्षेत्रनिवासं च कालभैरवदर्शनम् प्रयागे माधवं दृष्ट्वा एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् इन्दुवारे व्रतं स्थित्वा.
The speciality of the Shivling of this temple is that it is installed below the ground level in a pit dug into the earth. 3 lines are marked on the Shivlinga and bay leaves consisting of 3 leaflets and odorless flowers are offered to the Shivlinga. Actually, it is a reminder of the 3 divine tasks of Trinity God Shiva. The incorporeal Supreme Father Shiva establishes the new golden-aged world through Brahma, destroys the old iron-aged world through Shankar, and sustains the new deity world through Vishnu, that is Sri Lakshmi and Sri Narayan.
एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् दन्तिकोटिसहस्रेषु अश्वमेधशतक्रतौ कोटिकन्या महादानम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् बिल्वानां दर्शनं पुण्यं स्पर्शनं पापनाशनम् अघोरपापसंहारम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् सहस्रवेदपाठेषु ब्रह्मस्थापनमुच्यते अनेकव्रतकोटीनाम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम्.
There are many small temples near this temple. But the two important temples related to Jain religion are situated about a kilometer away from this place. One can have a glimpse of the village life while walking from the Kaleshwarnath temple to the Jain temples. Goats can be seen grazing and the shepherds could be seen taking their goats for grazing. One gets a glimpse of the carefree and easy nature of the villagers by observing the farmers going towards their fields with a smile. For the ladies of the village, the work begins early in the morning. But the elders of the village will begin their day after completing their daily routine of taking a bath and this gentleman is busy preparing laddus, a sweet. This lady does not experience any difficulty even in the old and painful ways of cooking. And this boy has found a coin of archaeological value. One can find different kinds of birds and animals in Kampil. Observing this potter, one is reminded of the Pandavas who, after escaping the fire tragedy of Lakshagra, took shelter in the house of a potter in Kampil. The Jain temples situated in Kampil are related to two different sects of Jain religion, namely Shwetambar Jain temple and Digambar Jain temple. The Shwetambar Jain temple is dedicated to the 13th Tirthankar or Saint Shri Vimalnath Swami. Shwetambar Jain temple, which had become very old, has been demolished and the temple is being reconstructed on a huge plot situated nearby. The scenes being shown now had been filmed before the demolition of the temple in the year 2001. In this temple, the 4 stages of Sri Vimalnath have been depicted: womb, stage, birth, Diksha or convocation, and Keval Gyan or enlightenment. Among the 24 Tirthankars or saints of Jain religion, only Sri Vimalnath Swami is credited to have passed all these 4 stages of his life at the same place, that is Kampil. Ever since the demolition of the temple, the idols installed in the temple have been kept respectfully in a separate room where they are worshipped as per due procedure. Within the premises of the Shwetambar temple, ancient idols obtained during excavations in Kampil from the banks of the river Ganga and from various houses have been displayed in a big room. Among these idols, many are said to be many centuries old. Although these idols are broken, but their archaeological value is immense and they can throw a lot of light on the history of Kampil. The Digambar Jain temple is bigger than the demolished Shwetambar Jain temple. But permission was granted to film the temple on camera from outside only. On the occasion of annual ceremony or festival, devotees from all over the country gather in these Jain temples. Surprising fact is that there's not even a single Jain family residing in Kampil. Local Hindu priests look after the temple. This is a good example of great tradition of equal respect for all the religions. The Jain temples of Kampil suddenly remind one of the Dilwada Jain temple of Mount Abu. On further inquiries about the specialities of this village, one is told about the spiritual godly university or Adhyatmik Ishwariya Vishwavidyalaya. It is said that it was established by the Supreme Father and Supreme Soul Shiva himself through the medium of Baba Virendra Dev Dikshit. This university is working from this building since 1982. It is revealed that this spiritual center is strangely related to the Prajapita Brahma Kumari Ishwariya Vishwavidyalaya in such a way that the seekers of knowledge, that is Brahma Kumaris and Brahma Kumars, come to Kampil after being banished from the headquarters of Brahma Kumaris organization situated at Mount Abu, Rajasthan and Delhi, in the same way as the Pandavas were banished from their kingdom, and such Brahma Kumaris get asylum in this spiritual hermitage of Kampil called Adhyatmik Ishwariya Vishwavidyalaya. God gave the basic knowledge of the soul, the supreme soul, and the beginning, middle, and end of this world drama wheel through Dada Lake Raj from Mount Abu, and now he is giving the advanced knowledge of the same through Baba Virendra Dev Dikshit and Kamla Devi Dikshit, who are believed to be the world father and world mother respectively. The aim of the spiritual family is to unite the entire world into one family by liberating them from the bondages of various castes, creeds, religions, country and languages. It aims to transform every man into deity Narayana and every woman into the deity Lakshmi. That is to establish deity religion where every person would be a deity with 100% peace, prosperity and purity. Adhyatmik Ishwariya Vishwavidyalaya has many branches all over India, and many of its members run Gita schools at their houses. New members arriving in small groups from within and outside India are being given spiritual training for 7 days in this house, which is called Yog Bhatti or Kin of Meditation, in which they undergo training in an environment away from the impure atmosphere of the world. They spend their entire time in obtaining godly knowledge and practice of meditation, which fills them with special energy, powers and virtues which help them in overcoming the problems faced by them in their practical life when they return to their respective places of residence.
ఎందుకంటే సుప్రీం కోర్టు ఏమి రచయిత కాలేరు, ఎందుకు ఒంటరిగా రచయితలా అవుతారు. అందువల్ల मैं रचयिता इनके लिए क्या बोला गया है, अपने धर्म में हर सब मिल जाएंगे, लेकिन किसी के धर्म में संघर्ष नहीं होते.
Here people speaking different languages are given godly knowledge in their languages only. They are explained how the incorporeal god Shiva establishes the new world, destroys the old world and sustains the new world through the bodies of Brahma, Shankara and Vishnu, the Trinity. They are also explained that how the human souls take 84 births in this 5,000 years cycle consisting of 4 ages, and how at the confluence of the Iron Age and the Golden Age, that is the confluence age which is going on presently, the Supreme Soul transforms human beings into deities. The seekers of knowledge are told how the foundations for all the religions are laid in the confluence age, and how the souls of the different religions of the world are united into one family. They are also explained how all the traditions, customs, festivals, temples, etc. of the path of worship are the reminders of the divine actions of the Supreme Father, Shiva, performed through Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar, which become the memorials or souvenirs of the path of worship from the Copper Age onwards.
যেমন কোনো মানে রাস্তায় কোনো কিছু পড়ে রয়েছে, কোনো মানুষের কি রাস্তায় পড়েছিল, হ্যাঁ যদি ওকে দিয়ে দিই সেটা আমাদের কি হয় না, সেটা ভালো হয়। তাহলে ভাবতে হয় আমাদের কি, তারপরে ভেবে বুদ্ধি থেকে বিচার করে, হ্যাঁ যদি এটাকে তুলবো কি না তুলবো, তুলে যদি অন্য লোককে দিয়ে দেয় তাহলে ওটা ভালো হলো, বুদ্ধি বিচার করে নিল, হ্যাঁ আমি করে নিলাম, তারপর সংস্কারে গিয়ে ওটা ছাপ পড়ে গেল। ওটা যদি খারাপ করে ভালো করেছে এই জন্য ভালো ছাপ পড়বে, যদি খারাপ কোনো কাজ করে খারাপ ইয়ে হবে।
मेरे भारत की धरती पर छाया माया का साया है मेरे भारत की धरती पर छाया, माया का साया है। अब नया सवेरा लाने को भारत में शिव आया है, अब नया सवेरा लाने को भारत में शिव आया है मेरे भारत की धरती पर। तुम छोड़ो 5 विकारों को, अब उठ के ज्ञान का स्नान करो। तुम छोड़ो 5 विकारों को, अब उठ के ज्ञान का स्नान करो। संगम की पावन बेला में फिर भारत उत्थान करो। जागो मेरे भारतवासी,
इनको राह दिखाओ। कौन से नैन की बात होगी? स्थूल नैनों की बात है क्या? स्थूल नैन तो बहुतों को नहीं होते हैं, लेकिन अंतर चक्षु उनके बड़े तीखे होते हैं। जैसे दुनिया के हिंदी के सबसे बड़े कवि सूरदास कहे जाते हैं, उनके बाहरी नैन नहीं थे, लेकिन सूर्य के समान सबसे तीखे कहे जाने वाले हिंदी के कवि, उनके अंतर चक्षु बहुत तीखे थे। बड़े से बड़ा धर्म ग्रंथ है तो नहीं कहा गया है, लेकिन बड़े से बड़ी कविता का पाठ उन्होंने किया जिसे सूर सागर कहा जाता है। तो नैनहीन को राह दिखाओ प्रभु। भक्तों ने गाया, जिन भक्तों ने गाया उनके बाहरी नैन तो थे, लेकिन जो तीसरा नेत्र है वो नहीं था। तीसरा नेत्र पाने के लिए इस गीत में प्रार्थना की है। वो तो भक्त लोग प्रार्थना करते रहते हैं, नैन तो बेचारों को मिलते नहीं। वो नैन जिससे नई दुनिया की राह देख सकें, परमात्मा धाम की राह देख सकें, अपने अनेक जन्मों के पार्ट को देख सके। क्योंकि वो तो गीत गाते हैं, सिर्फ कनरस के लिए गाते हैं। भक्ति मार्ग में सिर्फ दिखावा होता है, अंदरूनी ताकत नहीं होती है कि हमें वो नैन मिले जिन नैनों से हम प्रभु के दर्शन करें। इन स्थूल आंखों से तो न आत्मा दिखाई पड़ती है, न परमात्मा बाप दिखाई पड़ता है। परमात्मा बाप निराकार कहा जाता है, निरंजन निराकार परम ब्रह्म कहा जाता है। उसको इन स्थूल नेत्रों से तो देखने की बात ही नहीं। भक्तजन जो तीसरा नेत्र मांगते हैं, वो तीसरा नेत्र जेहि जानो तेहि देव जनाई, वो भगवान स्वयं आकर के तीसरा नेत्र देता है। जिसको तीसरा नेत्र होगा वही दूसरे को तीसरा नेत्र देगा, या जिसको होगा ही नहीं वो देगा? जिसके पास लाख करोड़ होगा तो दूसरों को कुछ न कुछ देगा। खुद ही रोडपति है तो देगा कैसे? तो भारतीय परंपरा में तीसरा नेत्र किसको दिखाया जाता है? कौन है वो प्रभु जिसके लिए भक्त ने गाया है, ये गीत गाया है, प्रभु नैनहीन को राह दिखाओ? वो तीसरा नेत्रधारी कौन सा है? कोई देवता है? कोई देवता विशेष का नाम गाया हुआ है? नहीं है। कौन है? शंकर को कहते हैं। लेकिन शंकर को भगवान तो नहीं कहा जा सकता, क्योंकि शंकर ही अगर भगवान होता तो वो ध्यान में किसके बैठता है, किसका ध्यान करता है? देव देव महादेव कहा जाता है। देवताओं में सबसे बड़ा देवता तो है, लेकिन भगवान तो नहीं है। भगवान कौन है? शिव शंकर को मिला के इकट्ठा कर दिया है। शिव का नाम पहले और शंकर का नाम बाद में। तो शंकर भी उस प्रभु को याद करता है जिसका नाम शिव है। वो शिव नेत्र, जो तीसरा नेत्र कहा जाता है, वो उसकी भ्रकुटी के मध्य में आकर प्रवेश करता है। माना शिव अलग है और शंकर की सोल अलग है। शिव की सोल ने जो निराकार परम ब्रह्म परमेश्वर कहा जाता है, वो जब शंकर में प्रवेश करता है तो शंकर की आत्मा भी उसी के ध्यान में मग्न हो जाती है, शिव को याद करती है। इसलिए शिव का लिंग बनाया जाता है और शंकर की मूर्ति बनाई जाती है। शिवलिंग कहा जाता है, शंकर लिंग नहीं कहा जाता। शिवलिंग को हाथ, पांव, नाक, आंख, कान नहीं दिखाए जाते। इसका मतलब वो निराकार का प्रतीक है, जिसके लिए भारतीय शास्त्रों में गाया हुआ है, बिनु पग चले सुने बिनु काना, कर बिनु कर्म करे विधि नाना, आनन रहित सकल रस भोगी, बिनु वाणी वक्ता वड़ जोगी। उसको आंख नहीं है फिर भी देखता है, कान नहीं है फिर भी सुनता है, मुख नहीं है फिर भी बोलता है। कैसे बोलता है? वो कवि लोग जो तो कविता करके चले गए, वो कवि उस मर्म को फिर भी जानते थे। उन कवियों की कविता का इंटरप्रिटेशन बाद में करने वाले जो आए, उन्होंने उनका मनमाना अर्थ निकाल दिया। गाते तो बहुत हैं, बिनु पग चले सुने बिनु काना, उसको हाथ नहीं है, कान नहीं है, पांव नहीं है, फिर भी वो सारे कार्य करता है। कैसे करता है? अरे वो तो भगवान है, सब कुछ कर सकता है, मरी मक्खी को भी जिंदा कर सकता है। अरे भगवान है तो प्रकृति के नियमों को तोड़ेगा क्या? कुदरत तो उसी की रची हुई है, अपनी ही रची हुई रचना के नियमों को तोड़ने के लिए आएगा क्या वो? भगवान कभी प्रकृति के नियमों को नहीं तोड़ता। भगवान तो सृष्टि पर जब आता है, क्योंकि वो निराकार है, अकर्ता है, अभोक्ता है, वो जन्मन के चक्र से न्यारा है, गर्भ से जन्म नहीं लेता हम आत्माओं की तरह। तो जब वो इस सृष्टि पर आता है तो जैसे गीता में लिखा हुआ है, एक शब्द है प्रवेश तुम, मैं प्रवेश करने योग्य हूं। जैसे कोई भूत प्रेत आत्माएं कोई में प्रवेश कर जाती हैं, तो मनुष्य आत्माएं होते हुए भी दूसरों में प्रवेश करती हैं, तो क्या परमात्मा प्रवेश नहीं कर सकता? परमात्मा तो उन सूक्ष्म शरीरधारियों से भी जास्ती सूक्ष्म है। वो परम ब्रह्म परमेश्वर परमात्मा शिव सुप्रीम सोल जब इस सृष्टि पर आता है तो इस सृष्टि के रंगमंच का जो हीरो पाटधारी है, कौन होगा हीरो पाटधारी? देवताओं में जो सबसे बड़ा देवता होगा वो हीरो पाटधारी होगा, या राक्षसों में दुख देने वालों में जो सबसे बड़ा राक्षस होगा वो हीरो पाटधारी होगा? हीरो पाटधारी कौन होगा और विलियन कौन होगा? जरूर राम और कृष्ण दो ही ऐसी हस्तियां भारतवर्ष में गाई हुई हैं जिनका विशेष गायन है मानवीय रूप में। तो वो राम वाली सोल में प्रवेश करता है और संसार के अंदर शंकर के नाम रूप से प्रत्यक्ष होता है। वही हीरो पाटधारी है सृष्टि रूपी रंगमंच का। उस राम के मुकाबले रावण विलियन है, अपोजिशन में पार्ट बजाने वाला। वो निराकार शिव जब राम की सोल में प्रवेश करता है, शंकर के नाम रूप से संसार में प्रत्यक्ष होता है, परमात्मा पार्ट बजाता है। उसमें परमात्मा पार्टधारी के लिए ही भक्तों ने गाया, हे प्रभु नैनहीन को राह दिखाओ। जो सृष्टि रूपी रंगमंच का सबसे बड़ा देवता बनने वाली आत्मा है, इस मनुष्य सृष्टि पर ही होती है। साधारण मनुष्य तन के रूप में होती है। जैसे गीता में लिखा हुआ है, मुझे साधारण मनुष्य तन में आए हुए भगवान को मूढ़मती लोग नहीं पहचान पाते, मेरा तिरस्कार करते हैं। इस मनुष्य सृष्टि में जब बहुत पतन हो जाता है, कब होता है पतन? सतयुग में होता है बहुत पतन, त्रेता में होता है, द्वापर में होता है, या कलयुग के अंत में ज्यादा सबसे जास्ती पतन होता है। महापापियों की दुनिया कौन सी है? कौन सा युग है? कलयुग का अंत। सतयुग में तो होता ही है सत्य का युग, त्रेता में होता ही है राम का राज्य। वहां तो भगवान को आने की दरकार ही नहीं। जो सृष्टि का नियंता बाप है वो तो तब ही आएगा जब इस सृष्टि रूपी मकान के बनने की कोई गुंजाइश न रहे, इसका चप्पा चप्पा दुखदाई हो जाए। हर मनुष्य आत्मा अपने को तन से, मन से, धन से, समय से, संपर्क से, संबंधियों से दुखी अनुभव करने लगे। जब ऐसी सृष्टि की हालत हो जाती है तब वो सुप्रीम सोल इस सृष्टि पर आता है और इस सृष्टि रूपी रंगमंच के जो हीरो हीरोइन हैं, हीरो और हीरोइन के रूप में पार्ट बजाने वाली आत्माएं हैं। हर धर्म में उनकी मान्यता है। अंग्रेजों में उनको कहते हैं एडम और ईव, मुसलमानों में उनको कहते हैं आदम और हवा, जैनियों में उनको कहते हैं आदिनाथ और आदिनाथनी, हिंदुओं में उनको कहते हैं आदिदेव और आदिदेवी। हिंदुओं में दूसरे शब्दों में उनका नाम पुकारा जाता है राम और कृष्ण।
While returning from Kampil, one feels that an important tourist place and spiritual center like Kampil has been really wiped off the memory of humanity, and neither the state government nor the central government is paying attention to its proper development. While travelling from Kampil to the nearest railway station, brick kilns can be seen where thousands of bricks are produced every day. Observing these brick kilns, one is reminded of the Raj Yoga Bhatti program being organized by Adhyatmik Ishwariya Vishwavidyalaya at Kampil. Just as the bricks are prepared and baked in the kilns, similarly, the brick-like souls are baked, that is made powerful through godly knowledge and meditation in the polluted atmosphere of the world and the cyclones of vices. The souls baked in this spiritual kiln are like golden bricks whose powerful gathering can establish heaven on the earth. Thus, while returning from Kampil, a tourist takes along with him the memories of the glorious history of Kampil as well as its perception of bright future which endeavors to unite the whole world into one family. Om Shanti.